Chair of the session, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste, greetings from Nepal, country of the Himalaya. Radio has been a fascinating communication object for me since my childhood. I grew up in a remote village of Nepal. My family had a small transistor radio at home. It was in 1960s when Sony, Vintage and Philips companies were competing to take the emerging market of portable radio for entertainment and news. In the Western world, in its boom during the 1920s, people rushed to buy radios and business and social structures adapted to the new medium. Universities began to offer radio-based courses. Churches began broadcasting these services. Newspapers created tie-ins with radio broadcast. The transistor radio, in fact, was a revolutionary piece of technology that gave people, particularly the young, musical freedom for the first time. Earlier, there was the invention of printing press that gave way to newspapers in mass at low price. They were but literate people who could read and write. The literacy rate was estimated 30% those days in England, while below 5% in countries like India and Nepal. No wonder why radio became so popular. Radio was a key lifeline of information for the masses in the years of World War II. Listeners around the world sat transfixed before the radio set as vivid reports of battles, victories, and defeats were broadcast by reporters. Political leaders used the medium to influence public opinion. So did the singers, opera, and they got fame. People gathered around transistor radio when there was live broadcast of cricket or quiz. Some science radio serials, example, War of the Worlds, based on H.G. Wells' classic fiction, were so popular that the listeners came to the street to fight off the invading Martians, believing that it was true. Television made its public debut in 1936, but general public could afford it very lately. With the advent of satellites, television made a tremendous progress in its accessibility and quality. Televisions gave a combined sense of astonishment and glamour, while people were able to see and hear actual events that were happening across town or continents. As of an influence to the society, television is widely believed to have greater cultural influence than parents, schools, religion, and government institutions that had been until then the dominant influences on popular conduct. Newspapers, radios, and television formed are technology-based communication outlets of mass media that disseminated information to a large audience. It evolved as a powerful medium to reach information to hundreds of thousands or even millions of people in one go. They not only carried news and communicated messages, but also changed people's ideas and even formed their views. However, the influence of mass media is gradually fading with an advent of new media in the 21st century. New media is described as communication technologies that enables or enhance interaction between users as well as interaction between users and content. It is a catch-all term for all forms of electronic communication that have appeared or will appear since the original mainly text and static pictures forms of online communication. New media refers to an on-demand access to content anytime, anywhere, or any digital device, as well as interactive user feedback, creative participation. It is the real-time generation of new and unregulated content. They use digital technologies such as social media and internets. Present society is greatly dominated by social media. A recent study by Capio's team showed that there were 4.8 billion social media users around the world in April 2023, which is 59.9% of the world population. Even in a developing country like Nepal, the active mobile broadband subscription is 59.6 per 100 as of the year 2022, and active internet users are 15.85 million, which is almost 53% of the total population of Nepal. The ease of use of social media platforms for communicating and disseminating information also makes them attractive to science and scientists. Many scientists are keen to make research visible and understandable to wider community. A survey conducted in 2015 found that 47% of scientists connected with the American Association for the Advancement of Science, AAAS, use social media to follow new discoveries and discuss science. Links, for example, ResearchGate, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and academia were the top 5 sites visited by scientists and engineers participating in a separate 2014 survey. Publication of their work and results in peer-reviewed journals is one major objective of scientists. Publish or perish is an aphorism describing the pressure to publish academic work in order to succeed in an academic career. It, however, is a daunting task getting green signals from the unknown peer reviewers and time-consuming. Since internet usage began to swell in the 1990s, enthusiasts have been arguing that online commenting could be and should replace the traditional process of pre-publication peer review that journals carry out to decide whether a paper is worth publishing. The digital revolution has provided alternative routes to disseminating scientific discoveries and keeping up to date with the literature. Facebook is giving science communities and scientists unprecedented access to its data so that they can investigate how social media platforms can influence elections and alter democracies. Despite the professional benefits of social media, many scientists are reluctant to use them for work. Comments that appear in social media are unstructured, untruly, and often anonymous. Online commenting can be exasperating for biologists used to more conventional means of discussion. The questions for scientists is how to deal with the ad hoc comments made by readers. In such a situation, should scientists be encouraged to use social media as a part of scientific publication? The Nature editorial in 2018 put it, this is up to the individuals to decide. Thank you very much.